All right, we're going to finish this talk about Blue Sky. There's another song I want to mention. I was talking about songs that are on the surface about a lover or a romantic partner, but could also be understood to be about God. And there are many songs like that, but let's talk about Van Morrison's Have I Told You Lately? I think that's the name of it. How have I told you lately? Have I told you lately that I love you and that there's no one else above you? When I first heard it, probably when most people first heard that song, I heard it when it first came out in 1989. I remember when it came out, and I remember, wow, that's a great song. And, some songs you don't necessarily appreciate when you first hear them, but that was one that I did. And just, like Dickie Betts, the music is in him. He's got it. So that song it actually was written as a prayer, as I understand it, the Van Morrison song. And I don't doubt that Dickie Betts also wrote his song in that way too. And I think, from what I understand from reading the Wikipedia article, Dickie Betts wanted to make it more universal, so he took out any pronouns, which is cool. And that's a note to all aspiring songwriters, that can really work, to take out the pronouns. And these days, clearly pronouns are a big subject, and even the pronouns for God too. Probably a good idea. Take out those pronouns. So what else can we say about this song? The guitar parts are apparently they were fairly innovative, and that was one of the first times that you had the two guitars harmonizing like they do on that song. It's so beautiful. One guitar goes out and the two join together before the second guitar takes a solo, and then they harmonize again. And think about how many guitar parts, 2 and 3 guitar, or maybe even 4 guitar parts there have been since then. I'm sure there were some before that too, but think of the Eagles' Hotel California, that guitar solo at the end with Don Felder and man, what's his name? How can you forget? Joe Walsh, Joe Walsh and Don Felder, and probably some other solos they did together. And think of all the other. I can't think of them right now, but there's a ton of solos. That Leonard Skinner, so many solos. But it's just, Blue Sky is just an absolutely amazing song. And I remember thinking, how did these guys do this song? I remember coming up with a story of how they did it. I think they were all in their mid-20s at that point. I think they were using psychedelics. They were using mushrooms and probably LSD as well, and other things, just like most kids at that time, including today too. Hasn't changed, but I can't help but think that had some influence on it as well. You can't, I don't think you can come up with guitar lines like that, and the song itself too, but it's just, there was something in the air back then. and probably something in their water, and they were on some good shit, you know, and that helped them to. Although many bands denied that those things helped them with their creativity or whatnot, but I don't know if that's true. I think the creativity is already there, and it just helps to remind you of what's already there. It's not that it's giving you anything you don't already have. You already have it. It's not to take it away from anyone. It's just they oftentimes can help with the creative process, I believe. So that's my little spiel about that. Anyway, I think this is one of the great all-time songs. Dickie Betts has been ranked as one of the great guitar players, up there with Duane. Duane is usually considered better. Was he really better? I don't know. You know, I can't say. I don't know how you can make that call necessarily, especially in a case like this. Duane died very young, and Dickie went on to write. He actually led the band, basically, and he wrote some of their best songs. And you can't really imagine the Allman Brothers without Dickie Betts, you know? How could you think of the Allman Brothers without Blue Sky and Jessica and In Memory of Elizabeth Reed and I don't know, all the other songs that he wrote or had a part in. Ramblin' Man, too, of course. Ramblin' Man's guitar is out of this world, too. I mean, mind-blowing how good that is, how good those guitar parts are. Anyway, enough said about all this. I'll probably circle back to this song. This series is called The Gospel of Rock, and we're talking about especially rock music. It really could talk about all music, but particularly rock music and how rock music has affected people, obviously, and how it has brought spirituality, you could say, to people that wouldn't otherwise step foot in a church, or they might go to church, but they don't really go much for the institutionalized religion. You know, a lot of people out there, and how it's providing an alternative. And we keep going back to those initial questions that we had, the Don McLean questions, the American Pie questions. Can music save your mortal soul? Can rock music save your mortal soul? And John Lennon's question, I don't know what's going to go first, Christianity or rock and roll? That's a great question. In many ways, Christianity has been dying. It's never going to die, of course. But then again, rock has been dying as well, and rock, as far as we know right now, is dead. Is it ever going to make a comeback? Like it was, you know, you could point to places in the past where people were saying rock is dead, you know, and probably from the very beginning, people have been saying rock and roll is dead. In the mid-70s, disco came to the fore, right? Right now it's rap, country and rap, hip-hop. Will there be a resurgence? We'll see. Maybe everything's been said in the world of rock music. Who knows? But I would say no, because there's still great music coming out in all genres, not just rock music. But does rock still have something to move people any more than any other genre? Or is it more or less you know, a genre like any other now. Who knows? Let's see. What we're talking. We're just raising questions. I don't really have a lot of answers, or maybe I do, but I'm gonna try to be upfront when I do give my own take on things. So thank you for listening, and I love your comments. And next song is probably going to be I don't know. I did have something in mind, but maybe Elvis Costello, Radio. We'll see. All right. See ya.